On the juice from the mind, heal up, wheel up, bring it back, come rewind, powerful impact. Shout out to Busta, leaders of the new in this Tribe Called Quest in the scenario. Yo, the remix was hot too. I ain't gonna hold you. You just joining us for the first time. Welcome here at App Stupid. It's been a crazy busy, hot and hazy Monday here in the Midwest. We talked some basketball in the last segment. The Lakers, Jeannie Buss, she breaks her silence. I don't know what that was. I'm not even going to rehash it. Just check the segment out. Then we talked about Bill Belichick and him having a sketchy legacy, how that thing is shaking out. Also, humble pie. Florida State was served humble pie when they lost to Georgia Tech over the weekend, opening college football season, where now I don't know how the Seminoles make it into the college playoff. Then we talked some UConn basketball, them leaving the Big East and going to the Big 12, and why that is such a seismic shift and could have huge financial implications for everyone involved in that conference. So from there, we go back to the National Football League and the association, and we just ask this question: what happened to Trey Lance? Now, he threw 5 interceptions over the weekend in Dallas, and he played the entire game. Out of all of those interceptions, he still had a 70% completion passer rating. Yeah, that's ridiculous. 323 yards and 1 touchdown, 11 touches for 96 rushing yards. Well, 90 rushing yards. Now, the former first rounder had a bad day, but are we just prisoners of the moment? Because I know when all of this came out in preseason, and trust me, the stat sheets don't even go to New York in preseason. Roger Goodell is coming out at the NFL draft saying that preseason games are meaningless and he likes to have at least one more game in a competitive NFL season. So if all that being considered, are we just prisoners of the moment and watching Trey Lance? Because this kid, it's like they drafted him to hide him. They drafted him to hide him, and he was in San Francisco, and I pretty much don't know what happened to his career. And then he resurfaced, and this is what you got. And if he doesn't make this team, is this the end of Trey Lance? And like I said, these stories will have a follow-up. But I know for all of the he's this, he's that, his intangibles, Todd McScam and Mel Kiper, and they're telling people that this kid is the goods. We've seen it, or we haven't. I don't know what this is. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll get back from a quick 20 from an unofficial sponsor of the show. This is Big Vern. Drop the spot. Yes, Taco Bell, Live Moss. Taco Bell, Live Moss. Order online, download the app, or visit your good folks at your local Taco Bell. Taco Bell, Live Moss. So, when we last left off, we was talking about the Raiders. Okay, not the Raiders. We were talking about Trey Lance and what happened to him, and how one day really doesn't make you a hero, and it doesn't really make you a loser. One day, because everybody's entitled to a bad day. But is this that? Because we've only had a sample size of Trey Lance's ability. For everything that people say is wrong with this kid, we've only had a sample size of his true ability. Dallas versus the Raiders. He went 15 of 23 for 151 yards, 1 touchdown. Where was the criticism then? Yeah, because they beat the Raiders 27-12 in a beatdown. Oh, I forgot. And it's my bad because I forgot this. He still had 7 grabs for 34 yards and a TD on the ground, averaging 4.5 yards a carry. So if you just disqualify his last preseason game versus the game he had before that, where he protected the football, it was error-free. Not only did he run for a touchdown, he also threw for a touchdown. Are we really overreacting to a bad day? Are we prisoners of the moment? I don't know. And the reason that I can say, honestly, I don't know, is because there's not a large enough sample size. And I know people sit up here, Vernon, what about the Carson Wentz situation? You was giving Carson Wentz hell. Carson Wentz was a starter when he was drafted. Philadelphia went out and built a team around Carson Wentz. This kid has been in a backup role primarily since he's gotten to the NFL. Since he's gotten to the NFL, he has virtually been hid out in San Francisco, just kicking it. And I don't know what to make of him because he hasn't been a starter. He hasn't had a team built around him. He hasn't had any of the breaks that any of these other guys have had. Now, could that speak to his ability? I don't know. That's why these are just questions. And that loss in week 1 of the preseason to the Rams, 12-13, it's fair to say him putting the ball in the air 49 times. If you go back and you look at that game that they played over the weekend, he cannot throw the ball 50 times. To put the ball in the air that many times, you're asking for an interception. 49 times you put the ball in the air, and that's fair. I'll hear that argument. That's not his skill set. His skill set is anywhere between 32 to 35 throws max, and that's where he's effective. He averaged in the preseason 5 yards a carry. Him extending drives with his foot combined with low reps, they make him really a hidden gem for certain teams out there who are in need of a quarterback who can just move in the pocket. You're not looking to recreate the wheel. You're just looking for a guy who's good enough to get you to where he's not going to cost you games. Him throwing 49 times in a game is not going to work. We'll take a quick 20 from a rap album we're promoting this month. This is Big Vern. Drop the spot. It's your boy Big Vern promoting another rap album this month. Free Butter by Lil Mac and Geechee Gotti. In stores now. Get it where you legally consume music, whether it be Apple Music, Google Play, or Spotify. My personal favorites are Schizo, 7 Days Straight, Won't Let It, For the Moment, and No Honor. In stores now. Butter. Shout out to Lil Mac and Geechee Gotti. Love the project. Been banging that over this past weekend. Make sure you go cop that where you legally get your music at. And then we're going to go ahead and round this out because, again, these are questions. Okay? So, because these are questions, and I just got to be honest with you, if I'm Indianapolis and you don't know how this is going to work out with Anthony Richardson, if he's always hurt, Trey Lance, he makes a safe insurance policy as a backup for the Colts. Again, he makes a safe insurance policy in case Anthony Richardson doesn't work out this season. If he gets hurt and he goes on the mend, you can pick him up if he gets cut by the Cowboys. See, even with 5 picks, he still has a completion rate of 33 of 49 passes. That's really damn good. Him doing too much is the problem. If I'm an OC and I'm looking at my quarterback and I know his skill set, where in the first 2 preseason games that he's played, we've kept him anywhere around 20 to 30 throws, 30 to 35 throws. And he's been playing good and coherent and having people into the conversation lexicon about, hey, this kid, we may have slept on him. But you throw all of that out the window when you make this kid throw 49 times in a game. I don't know who has that kind of stat line. I don't know who's putting the ball in the air that much because you're killing the defense. If he's throwing almost 50 times a game, the defense is Beyond tired. And I don't know who authorized this. I know Mike McCarthy is looking at this, but we're talking about Trey Lance and how 49 throws is way too much for him, and it's above his skill set. It's above his skill set. It's way too much for him. And if he gets cut by the Dallas Cowboys, which I think it's going to happen, where does he land at? And what's a safe insurance policy for people in Pittsburgh? It's a safe policy. The guys in Cleveland, it's a safe policy. Tennessee, it's a safe policy. I don't expect Will Levis to do pretty much anything but eat mayo and coffee and gross everybody the hell out. We've documented his ridiculousness abroad and on this country soil. So yeah, forget that dude. Can he go to New York and be a serviceable backup, which I think he's already better than Daniel Smith? These are just questions. And I don't know how anybody feels about it or if you really care. But for what it's worth, this kid might just be a hidden gem nobody is really looking at, keeping his skill set low, where you keep the reps, the throwing reps low, and really keep the ball on the ground. And if you're a team that's in need of a good manager, like the Raiders, but Gardner Minshew has already got that job, or Seattle, because it's only a matter of time before Geno Smith goes Geno Smith, Trey Lance just might be a safe insurance policy. I don't know. Let me know what you think. But well, that's the show. So thank you to everybody for subscribing, sharing, and liking the content. Enjoy your afternoon and your evening, and we will be back on Wednesday. This your boy Big Vernon.